Okay, what I'm about to say might make sense to some people, but to a lot of others, it might be the stupidest thing that you've ever heard. I think RRR should get an Oscar.
What? No!
Or at least be nominated for an Oscar. But why? That's what we're going to get into today. But first, roll that intro. After being postponed multiple times because of the pandemic, S.S. Rajamouli's mammoth epic project finally hit the screens in March 2022, and it had everything that the movie watching audience was craving for since the last 2 years. Huge stars, huger action set pieces, world-class VFX, multiple goosebump moments, right from the most perfectly set up song ever to the wildest interval sequence you'll ever see. And to tie all of this up together, it had soul and it had emotion that connects not just across India, but a global audience. And now is the perfect moment. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to capitalize on this. So firstly, what will an Oscar for RRR mean for India? After Squid Game became a success, I made this video about why it became such a big success and how the Korean wave has contributed to its wild success. How Korean filmmakers, content creators, the audience and the government came together to take Korean content to a global level. And then came Parasite, which just swept the Oscars and became the cherry on top. Today you see so much Korean content across every single streaming platform, and the result of this, that it not just boosted South Korea's economy, but also it changed the global perception of the country, of its culture and its people, which is really important for a global market of today. And I want to see that happen for India. Filmmaker Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu said this about cinema. Cinema is universal, beyond flags and borders and passports. So when RRR re-released in theaters in America and also dropped on all of the streaming platforms, the American audience especially has been going nuts about it.
Oh, he's out!
That looks great. Oh, the fire looks
Dude, that's so smart. That's so smart.
From VFX breakdowns to reaction videos to Twitter threads to overwhelmingly positive reviews raving about the film, right from important critics to really acclaimed filmmakers like Edgar Wright, everyone's losing their minds over the audacity and the brilliance of the film. No matter if you think it's overrated, it's illogical, it's stupid, that it's just commercial masala, the film has crossed borders and it's connected in a way that we could have never imagined. And I want to make something clear, this is not just about getting validation from white people, but it's an opportunity to change things. It's an opportunity to change the world's perception about Indians and Indian cinema from Bollywood or Slumdog Millionaire to a country that can make big spectacle event films with world-class content and world-class technicalities. Films that can actually rival Marvel or DC superhero films, which are honestly getting a bit repetitive. And who knows, maybe it'll elevate Rajamouli to a further extent, to join hands with Marvel and infuse some originality, some soul into that universe and make a truly Indian superhero film someday. Imagine all the truly Indian stories across different platforms, across different formats. Imagine all the influx of writers and filmmakers who are going to get to tell those stories. All the new opportunities and markets for VFX or any kind of technician, and all the money that we could make as an industry and all the development that's going to come out of it if it's used the right way. And to kick things off, as a first step, an Oscar for RRR is great. It might seem unrealistic or idealistic, but let me tell you why this is even remotely possible today. An Oscar for RRR doesn't just change things for India, it changes things for the Oscars as well. For a long period of time, the Oscars were the only and probably the highest recognition for films or film-related technicians across the world. It was also an event that was hugely anticipated every year by a movie-going audience, and for most of its history, the Oscars used to recognize artistic and commercial films. So when a movie that we watched and liked won an Oscar, we celebrated it, and when a movie that we didn't watch won an Oscar, we got so many more new movies to watch and discover. But over the years, that slowly started changing, and comedian Trevor Noah describes it perfectly.
Whenever the Oscars have the nominations announcements, I always feel like that's when it's like movie homework time for me, because it's never the movies I've watched. It's like a disconnect, you know? And I'm not saying the movies are not good, please don't get me wrong. I'm just saying there's a disconnect clearly between like what we want to watch and what we should watch.
He calls Oscar movies as the vegetables of movies. They are very good for you. You know that they're good for you, but when you're really craving something on a day when things are not going right, days when you want to just switch off your mind and switch off your problems and have a good time, these are not the movies that we'll be watching. And the result of this is that the viewership of the Oscars has been declining every single year. In 1998, around 55 million people watched the Oscars. In 2021, that number dropped from 55 to 10 million. It was the absolute rock bottom in terms of Oscar viewership. In 2022, just because of the the viewership increased by 60% to 16 million, but it's still the second worst year for the Oscars. In 2018, the Academy actually announced a new category called the Best Popular Film just to boost viewership. But because of a lot of backlash from journalists and Academy members, they decided to drop the idea. But maybe this is what the Oscars really need. A change. Maybe not a separate category for Best Popular Film like Manik Chand Filmfare Awards, but just celebrate every kind of film without any bias, artistic or commercial. Of course, there will be people who reject this, but whatever you say, a film is a film. And if a film like RRR or any other film that has struck a chord with an audience across the world, it'll just be a crime and honestly, stupidity to ignore such films. All I'm saying is nominate RRR for an Oscar and just see the viewership that year. And those were my honest thoughts on why RRR should be even considered for an Oscar. Let me know what you think of this. Of course, it's a very polarizing opinion that's going to be there. Let me know in the comments. If you like the content for whatever reason, please hit like so that more people can get to discover it. Hit subscribe because I'm going to be putting out a new video every week about films, about TV shows, about pop culture. But for now, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.